Is Lindsay Clancy a killer or a postpartum psychosis victim? Let's explore that today.
Tonight, the district attorney says he now has an arrest warrant for Lindsay Clancy, the Duxbury mother accused of murdering 2 of her children and hurting her baby before trying to take her own life. I-Team sources say Clancy was struggling with postpartum psychosis
and said, I have to go home right now. Say goodbye. Kids. My husband said, why? And I replied, because I'm going to kill them.
And explaining the symptoms of postpartum psychosis and just how many women struggle with it.
Our community is, of course, reeling from the tragic events of last night.
You know, you try to understand it. I mean, it's hard to imagine how that could happen still, but I'm trying to.
My bed, and my daughter is lying next to me, and that's her, cutie patootie. And I saw myself take a scissors and plunge it into her and cut her open from here to here. And there's blood everywhere. I saw her there on the bed, cut open, with blood everywhere.
It's tragic.
Investigators say Lindsay Clancy strangled her 3 young children Tuesday night before attempting to take her own
There
life.
was roadkill on the side of the street, and I was like, wow, it would probably be better if we were both dead.
We would see her, the mother, out in the backyard playing with the kids. During the summertime, she'd always be playing with the children, and you know, everybody's in a state of disbelief. It is tragic.
Trying to care for myself, let alone care for a baby.
Let's just let this day stop.
I don't know how I feel about the situation. She was sick.
But when they tell me it's the worst they've ever seen, it's going to have an impact.
Lindsay Clancy was found outside of her home by her husband after strangling and killing her 3 children, then jumping out of the window. The DA charged her with murder, strangulation, assault, and battery with a deadly weapon. However, the lawyer for Lindsay Clancy stated that his client was over-medicated with 13 different prescription drugs over the course of 4 months, causing the homicide. Lindsay Clancy is a 32-year-old labor and delivery nurse at Massachusetts General Hospital. She grew up in Wallingford, Connecticut, and holds a nursing degree from Quinnipiac University. She's married to her husband, Patrick Clancy, and they had 3 kids together, ages 5, 3, and 8 months. After giving birth to her 8-month-old, she took some time off from work to stay at home with the kids. Lindsay's husband also decided to work from home instead of going into the office to help out with the kids. On November 8th of 2022, she posted on her Facebook account asking the group for advice on what medications to take for postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression. 1 week prior to the alleged murders, Patrick allegedly went to the doctors for help, saying, quote, the medications were turning her into a zombie. 1 week later, on January 24th, 2023, Patrick left the home to grab some takeout at a restaurant nearby while his wife and 3 kids stayed in the house. Upon arriving back home, he found his wife outside of the home after allegedly jumping out of the window. Patrick called 911 for his wife, and later on they found 2 of the children inside strangled to death with severe signs of trauma. The 8-month-old was rushed to the hospital, but also died 3 days later from severe bruising. The next day, a $1 million GoFundMe page was started to support the victims, with Patrick writing a letter for everyone to forgive his wife. He stated, our marriage was wonderful and diametrically grew stronger as her condition rapidly worsened. Lindsay's lawyer later came out and stated she was prescribed 12 different medications in the last 4 months, which led to homicidal and suicidal ideations. A few experts came out and said she was suffering from postpartum psychosis when she strangled her children. So what is postpartum psychosis? I tried researching what postpartum psychosis is, but all I got was this.
Early signs of postpartum psychosis start with a confusional state, so a woman doesn't know who she is or where she is or even what day it is. Her moods can start swinging quite wildly, being depressed and then elated, for example, with racing thoughts, and then that can move into developing unusual thoughts or delusions.
Common. I experienced it with after the birth of one of my children. Many women sort of experience this postpartum blues, or what's often known as baby blues, after giving birth, which really is a mild form of postpartum depression. It usually occurs within a few days of giving birth, and it's often written off as the normal stress associated with taking care of a newborn. Moms may be moody, they might have trouble sleeping.
After doing some digging, this is what I found. According to the CDC, there was a study conducted by epidemiologist Jeannie Ko to find trends in postpartum depression symptoms over the course of a couple years. The CDC stated that an increase in prescribing antidepressant medication to pregnant women between the years of 2002 and 2010 might have influenced the observed decline in postpartum depression symptoms. Notice the use of the term might have influenced instead of treated. However, Dr. Andrew of McMaster University conducted a separate study analyzing dozens of outcomes for patients who use antidepressants to those who use placebos. A placebo is basically a sugar pill, which means it has no therapeutic effect whatsoever. The study found that 42% of antidepressant users have a chance of relapse compared to 25% of those who shun the pill. In other words, the ones taking the pill are more susceptible to depression. Why would medications that doctors prescribe to alleviate depression possibly cause it to recur? I wonder if taking these prescription medications after birth may not be effective in treating postpartum depression. Dr. Andrews stated, antidepressants of all types interfere with the brain's regulation of two neurotransmitters, serotonin and norepinephrine, and once an individual stops taking it, the brain overcorrects, triggering a new depression. It seems like the drugs may work in the short term, but in the long term, it keeps you stuck in a cycle where you'll need to keep taking the antidepressants to prevent a return of depression symptoms. Similar to how someone who struggles with addiction find themselves having to continue taking their drug of choice just to not experience withdrawal symptoms. When asked about his takeaway message, Dr. Andrews stated, talking therapies work just as well, if not better, than taking antidepressants. Postpartum psychosis is a very rare mental illness that occurs in just 1 to 2 out of every 1,000 women who give birth. Allegedly, the first case of postpartum psychosis was described by Hippocrates in 400 BC as a case of confusion, hallucinations, and insomnia occurring 6 days after a woman gave birth to twins. Now it's considered to be 6 weeks after birth. However, right after giving birth, your estrogen and progesterone levels dropping dramatically is a normal occurrence as a woman's body tries to balance out their hormones. There's plenty of factors that can contribute to recovery of those levels bouncing back, including physical shape, diet, support system, etc. So it's natural to feel a dramatic drop in hormones like serotonin and estrogen after giving birth, and maybe even pain. I think they may be turning normal occurrences in, during, and after birth into a money grab.
Levels of estrogen and progesterone gradually increase in the beginning of pregnancy and remain at an elevated level until delivery. And at the moment of delivery, those levels drop precipitously, as well as thyroid hormone levels, cortisol, a whole host of metabolic and hormonal changes occur at the time of delivery and within the first 72 hours postpartum. So those first 3 days postpartum are extremely busy times in a woman's body, recalibrating, re-equilibrating. And what most women experience in response to that is a feeling of emotional upheaval, a roller coaster. They have surges of euphoria and feeling satisfied and gratified and pleased and relaxed, mixed with feelings of overwhelming anxiety, fear, sadness, tearfulness, even agitation. That is completely normal.
According to the Winston-Salem Journal, prescriptions for antidepressants has been on the rise, and more than 37 million Americans are now on medications. So what about this case? Are we supposed to excuse Lindsay for allegedly killing her 3 children because of postpartum psychosis? Many people have stated that men also experience postpartum depression as well. Studies show that about 1 to 10 dads struggle with postpartum depression, and it's slowly becoming more recognized, diagnosed, and treated in men. Should we excuse dads that have hurt their kids as well? Would this case be the same if it was a dad? Does the mother matter more than the child in this situation? I hope anyone who's facing any kind of depression receives the help that they need as soon as possible. Would I recommend going the antidepressant route? No. but everyone has to do what's best for them. However, your choice may influence you as well as your family's future. What do you guys think about this? Do you believe her to be a killer or postpartum psychosis victim? You decide. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Peace.